What's up, my prime little prickly pears? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Snapshot, we are definitely not taking a look at Miss Trashiana Prime, at least not until Ironclad Flight actually works on her. So we'll be saving that review for a different day. But what we can do in the meantime is take a look at the Corinth Prime and the Pangolin, yes, underline, bold, capitalized, Pangolin Prime. I know, I was shocked too. I literally forgot that this was even a weapon in game. It was stuffed so far in the back of my closet that when they mentioned it, I was like, holy shit, they're actually gonna do it. And guess what? It's kind of juicy. But before we jump into any of that, let's go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of Corinth Prime action. So, heavy in hand with a bone-crunching kickback, this Prime version of the shotgun adds a remote detonation of the weapon's airburst round. Now, I'll be honest with you, this isn't necessarily my favorite shotgun, but I do have a soft spot for it, mainly because of the fact that I think the sound design has a little bit of a lion's roar in there, and I was like, okay, we can get along. Now, as you can see, this thing hasn't had any kind of major buffs. They've changed around its mechanics a little bit and kind of like upped some values, but nothing too insane, which, let's be real, the Corinth was kind of like eaten on a daily basis on its own, so they couldn't really do too much to make it better without making it insane, right? So as you can see, the fire rate has gone up from 1.17 all the way up to 1.42. The magazine has also increased from 5 to 20. However, I do want to make a little bit of a note on that. On the base variant, when you would fire off an airburst, it would consume a single bullet. However, with the Prime variant, it actually consumes 4 bullets when you're doing an airburst. So in some ways, this is a little bit of a nerf if you're just doing all air bursts the entire time. However, of course, if you're kind of like mixing it up and doing a lot of these standard shots on this and just tossing in a couple air bursts here and there, it's actually a pretty decent buff. The next thing that I want to mention, I don't know if this is a bug, because I feel like this is a bug, but I'm not 100%. If they don't fix it, then clearly it was meant to be. With the base variant, the reload would actually reload per shell, and it was actually very quick there. You could manage your ammo fairly nicely. But with the Prime variant, it's just a flat 3.0 reload speed. So whenever you decide to reload, it's not going to do it by shell. It's just going to do the entire mag. So definitely keep that in mind. In addition to that, the status per projectile has gone up from 6% up to 9%. Now, when it comes to the airburst, you can see that its fire rate has actually dropped. So instead of 1.17, it's 0.667, which kind of sad, but fine. You get to detonate your shots, so I guess that makes more sense. The other thing that I did want to go ahead and talk about is the fact that its status chance has actually increased from 28% up to 50%, and its radial attack has gotten a pretty big damage boost. So the range has increased from 9.4 up to 9.8, and the blast has gone from 404 at its base to 2,200. And I will say that it's really great at clearing out, like, you know, mid-tier enemies. Any star chart stuff, you can kind of blow them away with that. It's pretty good. However, when you get into the higher stuff, it's blast damage. It's not the best in the world. I mean, I guess it lowers accuracy, so that's kind of nice. So let's go ahead and toss that on real quick and see how this baby performs. I think that this first setup that I have does have my ribbon on it, so I'll show you how it performs with the ribbon, without a ribbon. But I have loaded up a Billy and a Millie. Is that what we've decided to name it? But as you can see right here, I mean, it's still, like, those slash procs still definitely eat with it. It's quite nice. So, feels really good still. Like I said, we didn't do a big, you know, damage boost to just its standard shots. But let me go ahead and show you the air burst. So, it's on your secondary fire, and as you can see, you can just shoot it like normal, and it'll hit a target. Let's see if we can back up even more. It doesn't detonate on its own anymore, which is quite nice, but it also kind of like involves you. You need to make sure to detonate. And as you can see right there, it actually deals a decent amount of damage to these targets. When I say decent, I mean like it's not absolutely minuscule. Well, I guess on the heavy gunner it's pretty minuscule, but it's good for clearing out a lot of low-level targets. And that's kind of like a good way, if you think about it, when it comes down to shotguns, is your kind of like base shots are really, really good at taking down a single target, but when it comes down to actually mowing down targets, the assault rifles are a little bit better for that. So this is kind of like a nice little balance that you can actually shoot it and detonate it, and you detonate it basically just by pressing the secondary fire button again. But for me, my favorite part is definitely all of the crazy slash procs and the crits that you can get with this thing. It's still very, very juicy. So that's that. Did I show you the reload? Hold on. So it's that long reload. It's not like the singular flick, 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 flick. And I love that sound, that little quick flick sound when it comes to the original Corinth. So I hope that it's just a bug. So as you can see, we are running a hybrid build. Of course, we're doing crits and we're doing status. And most importantly, we are running Hunter's Munition because this thing has a lot of critical chance and you want to take advantage of that. Now, I actually have a crit slash base damage ribbon on this, so I'm going to take that off. And what I was using earlier that I kind of really liked was vigilante armaments. But you could also play around with this and maybe go in with fire roll. But what I will say is because of the fact that this thing has such low status chance, I'm kind of like, I kind of feel like you will be relying a lot on these slash procs to go off in order to kind of like take out your targets, because you're not gonna get an insane amount when it comes to the pellets. Let's go ahead and swap fire in there and just see how it feels. I mean, this was not terrible. However, of course, this was not its like crown and shining achievement. We could even try tossing blaze on there. But hold on, let's, or maybe like a little, we could maybe do a little bit of laser sight. We're doing this kind of like live. I've had a long day at work, so just putting that out there. If I'm a little bit off, listen, be kind, all right? And remember, your build is your own, so you can kind of do it however way you want. I'm going to toss on laser sights on this real quick and see how that baby feels. Ooh! It feels quite nice. Well, it feels okay. I'm not going to say that it feels insane. I still prefer my ribbon, but it does feel quite nice. Let's try it with the fire mod real quick, and then we'll go ahead and call it for the Corinth Prime. Let me go ahead and toss on. Ooh, maybe we should just go with blade. No, let's try it. Let's try it with the fire one. Let's try it with the, or maybe no, because it's not crazy with status. That's the thing, is with shotguns you're so quick to like think status, but when it comes down to the Corinth, it's really not as strong. But I mean, status per projectile, it's kind of there, right? Let's go ahead and take a look. See if this feels any better. It probably will. It just takes follow-up shots, right? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. The follow-up shot is not so bad. I feel like that was decent. Literally, regardless of what way you want to put it in, wow, that was not appropriate. But we're going to keep it because I feel strongly about putting it in. Regardless of what way you want to put it into the Corinth Prime, it's going to perform, and you do have your options to clear out enemies with the air burst, or you can go ahead and just take down heavy single targets with the standard shot. So let's go ahead and move into the Pangolin sword. I don't actually remember the base stats on this weapon just right out the gate, so I want to take a quick look at it real fast and just see how it feels. Because I'm looking at a critical chance of 8% and a status chance of 22%. You know what? That's fairly decent for way back in the day. But let's take a look at the new and improved version of this. So as you can see, it's just, as compared to the Corinth Prime, this is like green across the map, right? Except for one, the blocking angle has gone down. But Pangolin Prime, a classic Tenno blade, beautifully reimagined. So the critical chance has shot up from 8% up to 26%, and the critical multiplier has gone from 1.5 times to 2.2 times. That in and of itself is already super duper sexified, right? You're feeling good about this. I'm feeling good about this. We should all feel great about this. The slam radius has also improved from 7 meters up to 8 meters. In addition to that, the status has jumped from 22% all the way up to 30%. And as you can see, I did want to make note of the IPS. This is leading the pack with slash. So you can see a status crit weapon with some slash. I mean, that's kind of juicy, right? I feel like that's pretty gosh damn juicy. And the model in and of itself, too, is quite pretty. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, I don't remember if this is my favorite weapon combo, but I did go ahead and toss on Crimson Dervish for this one. Just because I felt like I wasn't jumping all over the place with it. But as you can see, it's fast. And, like, it can obliterate really quickly. Like, that's just... It's just nice. And that's how I feel when it comes to these weapons. Like, it's such a throwback that's, you know, you gotta do it a little bit justice for everybody who has used the Pangolin way back in the day. I mean, the slash procs on its own are pretty goddamn nasty, right? Let's go ahead and try this with one of the different combos, because who knows, maybe that combo was just like the bitch combo, like the combo of all of them. We'll try the blocking one too. No, the blocking one's still good too. All really quite good. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the build real fast. And I'm just happy that they kind of like went back. And they're like, you know, we're going to do one of the more obscure ones. As you can see, we are running a hybrid build here again using Viral. But we have tossed on both Blood Rush and Condition Overload on this, which makes it a very sickening pair. We also have Drifting Contact on there. Now, you could drop that if you wanted to, maybe toss in a Buzzkill to really push the slash. Because as many of you guys know, one of the things that they did with the recent updates is they took off that thing where elements were not proccing as often, because they were like, oh, let's make them proc as often as standard ones. So if you guys really want to push the slash, you can go ahead and toss in Buzzkill instead of maybe Drifting Contact, or you can keep Drifting Contact. Listen, it's your life. Whatever the hell you want to do with it is completely up to you. However, this is my current setup. Let's give it a shot. Let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens with it, and then after that we'll call it a night. Cause I mean, I'm sure it's good nonetheless. And FYI, I do believe that they got rid of I feel like that's kind of better. Well, I mean, of course it's better because I got rid of the combo counter and status one, so I can't really be surprised that this is dealing more damage to it, right? And if you're using Naramon like I do, like, you don't necessarily need Drifting Contact unless you really want, really want the extra status. I don't know. Regardless, I'm very, very happy with both. A little bit less with the Corinth Prime. I'm still happy with it because the Corinth Prime was already great to begin with. And the Pangolin Prime just kind of like brings a smile to my face. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of these weapons. In addition to that, let me know if there were any older Tenno based weapons that you would like to see primed as a little bit of a throwback. Regardless, that about does it for me for now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.